different setup than I wanted to, but here we are. I was going to do this Cadillac workout on Wednesday, but we had some technical difficulties up here at the studio, so held off. I'm going to do it tonight instead. I have my other camera set up over there, so when I go stand on the outside, hopefully you'll be able to see it. And if it doesn't look good, let me know. But there we are. And we're just going to get started. Kind of really, as I said in the description, it's like a Friday night Cadillac flow. So what that means for me when I do this, generally I pick one spot on the Cadillac and do most of the exercises I can in that spot and then kind of move on. And I always like to start off with the roll up here. Roll down bar. Let's try that again. I'll get these words out. I mean, incorrectly, but I'll get them out. And then, sit tall and roll back. I always have a hard time articulating my spine on the first few without collapsing into my spine. Number 3. Pressing down, legs a little harder. Now, this is one of my favorites. I'm just going to use this to stretch out the side. It's a lot better if you have someone like pulling this arm and doing that stretch there, but it's alright. I'll survive. Let's try that again. I'll cross our leg after I roll down. Let's do the other side. Probably come back to this roll down a few times. So way down here, but just some nice exercises here that one would be getting. So squeeze 2, 3. 3. Show me this about 5 times. 4. And the last one, 5. Alright. Now I'd say I feel pretty warmed up. Now that you can see my head out there. No worries. Coming back to that in a minute. But another thing I like to do is roll down bar. His legs hang over the roll down bar. And again, this is for me a lot of fun because feels like a really good stretch. And it also helps prepare for airplane. that we'll do in a little bit. Number 4. The nice thing about being on this Cadillac is there's a bright fucking light right above my head. I literally had to pick of all of these in here, and I went for this one. Bar's trying to roll out. Three. 4. And 5. Alright. No, I'm good. Alright, see ya. I'm just kidding. Took a lot longer to set this stuff up than I wanted to, so I'm not going anywhere anytime soon. It's one of the problems with traveling to a studio is that sometimes you gotta carry all the equipment with you. So, it's alright. It's kind of fun. Do leg circles. And actually, since I just mentioned it, I might as well show you. I'm going to use this in a second, but this is the airplane board. Some of them have 2 straps. This one has 2 loops, so this one has 3. We want to do individual footwork with it. I'll come back to it in a second. But first, I'm going to do just some leg strengths here. Try to keep my clothes on, sorry. Very inappropriate, I know. Alright. Legs down, around. 2. Not quite so far, but you kick the arm strings. 4. 5. And reverse. Generally, as I do these, do about 10 each direction. I'm going to do half of them in the air. 5. And bicycle. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And we'll reverse. 2, 3, 4, 5. And walking 3 times. Number 2. And number 3. And come down, 5 quick beats to the heels. Separate those legs and circle. 1, 2, 4, 5, and then reverse. 2, 4, 5, and come in. This next one's called frog in a box, or 6-point prod. Press those legs up and up, apart, down, together, and drag it back in. And number 2. 3. And we'll reverse that. Down, out. Back. 2. And 3. Alright, so that in itself is generally fairly, I won't say basic because it is hard, but more advanced, or not more advanced, more of an intro to leg springs on the Cadillac. And then as you get stronger, with that quote, then the more advanced, we do something called leg springs in the air. So with that, same exercises, except instead of keeping your lower back on the mat, and squeeze your heels together. Come up here, and the goal is to move the legs and really not move the upper body. 3. So my hips are moving a little bit more than I want them to. 2, 4, 5. But it's a practice, not perfection, so we're just going to keep going with it. 3, 4, 5, and reverse. 3, 4, 5. And now my hips will move the whole body. 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 2, 3, 5. And reverse. 3, 4. All right. Frog in a box. Down, together, and oh man. Whew, lost it. All right, let's get it back. I'll reverse it. 2, 3. All right, so like extra arm work in there as well. But it's hot in here now. Nice and sweaty. Now, so it's the airplane board, and you can't really see the top of this one over here, but on this one you can. So this should be able to fit well to the 2 bars at the top, one here, right? If I do this thing correctly, I'll hit the bottom. So it really takes a lot of precision and control to be able to go between these bars. Yeah. One of the things that we talk about often in here is alignment, right? Big part of Pilates is alignment. Which is why everything in this room is very square. So you can actually see if I'm laying too far on one side than the other, the mat will reflect that. If my legs, when I do leg springs, I'm using the left one more dominantly than the right, my knees will not line up with the bars above my head. So in your own workout, you kind of get to use that, and as an instructor, it really helps to see the body in front of us. So airplane, a little bit like I did before, push over the roll down bar. This just takes a lot more work. And because my legs are long, I get a lot less support from the springs. Number 4. And then we reverse that. So we roll through, come up, reach, come back in. 3. One thing you wouldn't think, my glutes are on fire using this thing. Alright, so we're going to kind of give my legs and my glutes a bit of a break and do some arm springs laying on the mat. Eventually go out there and do some standing arm springs. But got some water. Pretty sure the AC here keeps turning itself off. I'm not kicking back on. It's okay. And so as I talked about before, as with the thing, the Cadillac in the square, I do that first one, so where your arms on kind of check. I don't know if you can see it, kind of put my thumb close to my glute and see if the distance between my thumb and my pinky from my glute to the end of the mat is the same on each side. So I got to do a little check there. It is. So now, arm circle. Especially with arm circles, it's hard to keep the springs silent when you're using the airplane board. But for the most part, when we do leg circles or leg springs or arm springs, we want to keep the springs as quiet as possible. What I mean by that is we don't want to hear, right? There's no control there. So the work really comes from the fact that these springs are either going to resist you or assist you, and your job is to control them. This one, you are going to hit the springs because they're going to be rubbing together. And this is mainly for my activate the lats here. As that was in, I'm going to press down wide. Can't find a little bit of different resistance. Just switch the springs. 3, 4. Alright. From here, slide back just a little bit for tricep extension. And press. 2, 3, 4, 6. As you can see, the springs are shaking. 7. All right. Nice. Felt good. Now, when you take the springs to the outside leg, it's not going to do anymore right now. But I'm going to come over to the push through bar. And this thing gets a lot of work when you see this. Let's check what the hell's going on. Why is it so hot? Okay, we're good. It's all good. Alright, now this is called push through. This feels good. Feels better again if you have someone who can push up on here for you. But you'll see a lot of people do it like this. I don't do that. There's no control there. We want this to completely come for your core. So I just did that exercise with the arm springs. It's really get the lats engaged and warm them up. So from here I can press back, press down, keep that going, and use my abs to the forward into the stretch. Roll back through, control this ball all the way back up, and lift. Creating as much distance between the crown of my head and my tailbone. Back. One more. And the main reason why I like to use this towards the beginning is because this is going to be the first time, aside from that little side bend at the beginning, where I get a little bit more of a thoracic twist. Oh, shit. Stretch that out. I don't recommend actually pulling on the spring. You can pinch your fingers, but it's okay because I'm a trained professional. At least I act like one. And last one, first one. Alright, from here, keep going on with the side bend. We do mermaid. If you've been watching this channel for a while, you know we do this exercise all over the room. We do this on the reformer, on the one chair, also on the Cadillac. We can do this one of two ways. Get it sitting here, focus on keeping this hip down. So you come up and over stretch, wrap the arm around. And up the seat. One more. Now, unfortunately, I don't have my camera set on that side, so I'm going to turn my back to you for a second. But, well, I'm also not going to do this kneeling in a little bit, but we could also do this on our knees. Here. That's one of the reasons why this is harder for me to be seated than kneeling. Because I have these short, stubby, like gymnast diver legs, and I can barely get my feet on the little bar down at the bottom. But it's fine. It's fine. I'll be okay. All right. We have a ton of other stuff over here. The next one, for the push-through bar, is sometimes called parakeet, sometimes called bottom foot exercise, sometimes called shari. And the rumor, I have no actual context whether or not this is true or not, but Rose protege of Romana, daughter's name is Shari, who is now in charge of Romana's Pilates, I believe, or part of it. But I believe she was born with flat feet, and this is the exercise Joe came up with to help her achieve more of an arch in her foot. No idea if that story is true, but it's just what I've been told. So, this one starts off just like anything else in Pilates. It seems rather simple. We're going to inhale to bend the knees, exhale, extend the legs up, inhale, bend the knees, and exhale down. Now, even now, I can feel all the muscles just on that one exercise on the outside of my perennials wanted to cramp up on me. I'll come back through to a few more. And part of that is because I don't stretch enough after I cycle. And number 3, as I bend the knees up or down, I don't want them to collapse in or bow out. I'm trying to keep them right in line with my hips. And then we can add a little extra work, pressing through. I can articulate up one vertebra at a time as I come to the top. And if I want, I can kind of roll down. Down. Number 2. Come up. And roll down. And part of this is still a bit of a warm-up because, well, you'll see after number 3 here. Roll through. Roll up. And roll down. Now, here's where the fun happens. Can I keep my hips up through the entire exercise? So lift here, come through, almost not. Try to keep this bar once, almost, almost. Oh, there's the calf crap. 1, 2, 1, 2. So close. So close. But that's all right. Next time. Whew. All right. How's that? Oh. Yeah. Now my favorite. It's using the push-through bar. Now, same kind of idea. First of all, make sure you don't smash your face. All right. But kind of push through here a few times. I don't need to go through the whole beginning part. It's exactly the same thing I just did with my legs. It's a nice way to kind of get the shoulders moving. From here, I'm going to inhale, roll up one vertebra at a time. And then exhale down, one vertebra at a time. A little bit more. 2. Now, there's the beginning part. How about we add some legs? The goal is to get your head and feet to leave and land at the same time. Now add a little flare here. 2, 3. Not quite the required 15 pieces of flare, but 6 will work. And now, the jazz hands of the operation. 1, 2, 3. Reach for the one hand, reach for the other, jazz hands, and stretch. I just made the last part up. All right. Now, this next one is called tower. Tower would be a monkey. Again, this is another flexion exercise. We do a lot of that in here. All right. So we did start off with flexion using the roll down bar, then flexion with, or just rolling down, right? And flexion again with the roll down bar as we went, and the legs hanging over the roll down bar. And then the teaser, and so on and so forth. So here we are. Here was one of my favorite stretches for my legs and my back and my calves. Some people put their hands on the bar, some people put their hands out here. I kind of prefer on the bar. I'm going to try to keep my toes pointed. As you can see, I'm fighting to get my sacrum down to the mat. I'm fine with that. Right, let's do part of the stretch for me. So I'm going to press up and down. You can see I'm not going in too far by using the legs to press to help me exhale. 4, inhale up, exhale down. 5, inhale up, exhale, flex the feet. Woo! 3, 4, inhale up, number 5. I roll all the way up, keep my hips high as I exhale to the knees. 3, 4, 5, and then I take the leg down as if I'm trying to keep my toes up to the ceiling and come down 1 vertebra at a time. And just melt. And that is the whole reason why I love doing this exercise. So step number 2, press up. 3, 4, 5, relax. 4, 5. One more side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and there's sweat going in right here. 2, the hazards of working out, no one tells you about. 4, 5. 3. Alright. Now from here, if you're ever in a studio and they don't have 2 chains, no. Ask them for another. Alright, this next exercise is called monkey. Hang my head off. You can see it? Kind of, sort of. But then, put my feet in the middle. My hands here. Alright. And I'm going to inhale, roll up. 2, 3, 4. Oh, and this is the calf and hamstring stretch I definitely needed today. Number 2. 2, 3, 4. The last one. 2, 3, 4. And for me, aside from the hamstring stretch, one of my greatest challenges on that is not blocking my knees out. Because I can look like a robot walking backwards. Right? That's obviously that's hyperextension, right? But that's what it looks like when I lock my knees out. So when I do these exercises, I try to keep it and get as much length out of the joint as opposed to just blocking my knees out. So, in case you're wondering why I look weird, that's it. I Actually, there's one more I'm going to do here. This is actually a hip flexor exercise. One of the things I love to help stretch out my psoas. And it's weird because it does not look like that's what's going to happen here. But start with my right foot, just so as I can talk through it while I do it, and then you can really see it better when I switch legs. I'm going to start, this foot bent, follow the carriage, on that. My arms are just going to be on my side here. I'm going to keep my toe pointed. Inhale, press up. Exhale, flex. Inhale, point, and exhale, calm down. There's a very different stretch in comparison to the last two exercises I just did. Probably because the foot and ankle are working alone, as opposed to having the other foot up there. Alright, so that's a great stretch in here. Now, this leg is going to get long, and every time this leg goes up and comes down, I'm going to push to this heel to get more extension out of the hip that you can't see, but it's on the other side. So, press up, flex, point, and as I exhale, this comes down and I drive through this heel. 2, and do this 5 times on each leg. 3, 4, and number 5. Switch. So again, press up 3 times, just kind of warm up, if you will. Get used to that movement. 2, 3. This leg goes out. Here's where that big stretch is going to happen as I reach through that heel. Press up, flex, point, and drive. 2. Number 3. Oh. Number 4. And last one, number 5. All right. What time is it? 7:16, right? I've been doing this for a while. Not too bad. All right. Do one more thing. This is sometimes referred to as the Pilates cat. A lot like some of the exercises that you see me do on the wonder chair. Well, the goal of this exercise, or one of the many goals of this exercise, is to not shift the hips back, right? I'm going to start here. I want to slide back far enough that this is like an extension of my arm. Push the bar extension of the arm. And inhale, roll down one vertebra at a time. And arch and stretch. So my hips should still be directly above my knee. And then when I go to come up, I'm going to tuck the head and tailbone. I'm going to try to kind of like get a view of this while I do it. Over here, come back up, without really shifting back. So a bad one would look like this. Now, it doesn't mean it doesn't feel good, but there's not really any control there, at least not on my part. I'm just using the spring. I felt no engagement on my core. So here, I have to really focus on pulling those abs in as I articulate down one vertebra at a time. And arch and stretch, and then plug the lats in, and pull those abs up. A lot harder. Number 3. Number 4. And up. Last one, number 5. All right. Now, stay on my knees. Kind of use this roll down bar here. Kind of get those lats again. Now, I'm not going to get this bar all the way to my arm. That's the goal. It's just not going to happen. But every single time, if you kind of watch my shoulder here, you're going to see I have to reset because I roll the shoulder back and down. I'm going to press down, really activate that lat. Oh, we're almost there. Now watch the shoulder. As I come back up, it's going to want to roll forward, and it does. So every single time, I kind of have to reset and press down and then come back up. So if you've ever done lat raises in the gym and you come up and I only feel this in my deltoid, it's probably because as you're coming up, it's a lot more here as opposed to setting the shoulder back and then down. So if you have to focus on resetting that every once in a while in the gym, I would recommend you do that. Now, I'm going to have to turn my back to you. Sorry. But, let's see what it looks like from the back. Press down. 2, 3. Now, chest extension. Again, I'm going to roll the shoulders back and down, plug in the left and open the chest as I inhale, press down, to the left, to the right, to the center, and return. Right, left, center, and back. That was one set. So set number 2. Alright, thigh stretch, hinge back, and return. And just like when I do this on the reformer, I want to keep a straight line from the knee to the shoulder, and I'm trying to get my glutes to my heels. When I get there, oh, close. If I want, I can go back. See what I look like in the mirror. It's behind me. One more. Hinge. Stretch. Now we do that, we go right into rolling in and out. So again, much like I did with the Pilates cat over there, a big part of this at the beginning is not shifting the hips back. So as I roll down, I'm going to bring the bar down here. Try to keep the hips still as I bring the bar back to my legs. Now I hinge back, so I drag the bar up the body, extend the arms, and I finish just like I did with thigh stretch. Number 2. Number 3. And I'm really sweaty, so I keep sliding forward. And now we're going to reverse that. So I'm going to hinge back, pull the bar in, press it down, and then I come up and over. And from here again, I'm pulling up. I'm not shooting and moving the hips back. Number 2. Number 3. All right. So now I'm going to switch here. All right. Now, hello. So here, we tend to do a lot of things on the outside. Let's move this over. Now, from here, we didn't take the roll down bar. But we use this thing all over the Cadillac. Well, at least all over on this side of the Cadillac. One of my favorites, and this is actually why I picked this Cadillac, so I have a little bit more space behind me for squats. Now, we do these, obviously they're a little different than when we're doing the rest of the studio, or in the rest of the gym, right? My heels are going to be together, my toes are going to be apart. And stay nice and tall here. All right. Elbows are going to stay at a 90-degree angle, and they're going to stay at my shoulder. At no point do I want them to go down. If you're ever in any kind of class and they are going to have you do this exercise, just remember tension is key. And if you're having to follow along, and you happen to have a Cadillac at home on your own and you're trying this, you're like, oh, I've never done that before. If you feel like you're going to fall when you do this exercise, if you're going back and you're like, I'm going to fall, and you bring the arms down, you will absolutely bust your ass on the ground. That's just going to happen. But if you feel like you're going to fall and you shoot your arms up to the ceiling, I can kind of throw myself back and I can still catch myself as the arms go up. So we keep the arms at 90 degrees, help keep tension on the springs, and let's also make sure that we don't fall and bust our ass. All right, here. I'm going to lean back ever so slightly to help get the abs a little bit more engaged. I'm going to stay tall as I come down for the squat. And number 2. Number 3. And sometimes, I think you can see those springs shaking. Sometimes we try to add a little bit of a controlled roll to it. Come on back. Come all the way down. Roll out. I don't want to break the springs, so I'm going to leave them right here. Roll up. Whew. I realized I said break the springs. What I meant was overstretch the springs. But I mean, I like to think I'm that strong. Just snap springs off left and right. Whew. So as you can see, that was a fantastic arm workout as part of that. Core workout, obviously. We're working on powerhouse all the time. And now I'm just stalling for time to catch my breath before I do single leg squats. Also sometimes known as a pistol squat. These are very different, not very different, so a little different than we would do in the gym because I have the help of the springs, so I don't need to bend over for the counterweight, right? So I get to use this, stick one leg out, and then come down. I'm gonna bring this around, come down, bring this in, and back. Let's see if I can do one more. Whew. I almost died. I mean, not really, but you know, I have some flair for the dramatic. All right, other leg. My body's already, are you sure? I'm sure, let's go. Yeah. Slight wobble there. That's okay. Whew. All right. Now, do some arm springs. And then we're going to do neck stretcher, which is probably one of my favorite accessories in the entire studio. It would also help if I actually connected the arm springs instead of the leg springs, but you know, it is what it is. Alright. Heels together, toes apart. And again, I have a mirror in front of me so I can also see if I'm off to one side more than the other. Alright, so nice and tall here. And the goal as I do this is to continue to stretch between the crown of my head and my feet. Right, that's the two-way stretch coming from the middle. But I want to move the arms out with control. I'm not trying to bounce. Alright, that does nothing. So I'm focused on staying nice and stable. 3. This is one way you can do this exercise. It's 5. I've also learned this. Again, it's a little faster. You can see my hips want to sway back and forth a little bit. Feet that way, you're still moving. And then 5 times with both arms. 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's go to 10. 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Now, you can do a really hard skull twist. So you watch my feet, right? Yeah, you see my feet. My goal is to keep my feet facing that direction. I'm not quite that mobile in my spine, but I am getting there. So you might see my feet twist a little bit. But as you remember, whether I was laying on the mat, and I cross the springs and pressing the arms down wide to engage the lats, right? Here, I try to keep those feet facing that way. And they're gonna twist a little bit. But now, keeping the shoulders down, I'm gonna press. 2, 3, 4, 5. Come back up. And twist again. All right, much better on this side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And just as a quick side note, turn that way, as I do my bent press, that's probably why it's a lot easier for me on my left than on my right. I don't have quite the mobility there, but this is one of the pieces of equipment that's helped me keep and maintain and get more mobility for exercises like the bent press. All right, anyway, back to Pilates. Heels together. I'm gonna do arm circles. So staying tall, press out, come up and around, and back. 2. Number 3. I'm gonna reverse that, press out. 2. Number 3. All right. So I'm gonna grab this neck stretcher. I'm gonna use the neck stretcher in a couple different areas. And then I'm gonna hang upside down. Oh, there it is. I thought somebody stole this. They didn't. I just couldn't find it. Here, still as this may look. How about stretching out and strengthening your neck? Kind of start nice and tall. I'm going to keep my hand here, just so it doesn't slip off my head, right? All right. Right here, stay tall. I'm going back. 2, 3, 4, 5. Now I'm going to turn this way. Same idea. And tall. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now, this may be one of the reasons why I love this exercise, is because as I was going through my certification program, this was the apparatus where I got my nickname. So the person who certified me, his name was Frank Zito. He was teaching them all about the scalenes and the muscles in the neck. And he's, you know those long lines, and people trying to show him like that, and all these here. And he was like, yeah, like, you got a little thick neck like a pit bull. We're gonna make him the pit bull of Pilates. And he did. And so I'm gonna keep this a little more there. 2, shoulder down a little bit more. 3, now I feel like Feifel, there we go. 4, and 5. All right, now that's just one way we can use this over here. The other, take these leg springs and I bring them out here. All right, so that's one kind of, I wouldn't necessarily say intro exercise to the neck stretcher, but fairly, somewhat gentle way to start using it. And here, on our head, and you already saw me do squats earlier, right? So here, and again, my hand is here, just to make sure this thing doesn't slip off my head. Yes, that should be good. Staying nice and tall. And down. Now I'm going to go back a little further. Here we go. That's it. 1. To work the entire back line of the neck. In fact, my entire extensor muscles in my spine with that one. You can probably see that smile on my face. I do really love that exercise. But I'm going to a few more here. And I'm actually, just so you don't get dizzy while I do this. Bring it back on this side while I move this camera around. here. Just gonna check out what that looks like for a second. Yeah. Good. All right. So I'll put that one on at the end. Right now, I'm gonna finish using the next stretch over here. And then I'm gonna hang upside down. Play these fuzzy bad boys. All right. So you saw me do squats. Now, that works the entire posterior chain of my body. And this one, again, going back to the push through down, or push through down. Rolling out on the roll down bar and Pilates cat on the push through bar. The idea of the hips staying perfectly still, stay nice around, roll down, and up. Number 2. Number 3. Number 4. I feel this work all in here. And the last one, number 5. Whoop. There's no way I almost fell on that one. Don't believe it. All right, and the last one here. And this, again, one of my favorites, because it just feels like an amazing stretch. There's a little traction here to start off with. Stay nice and tall, and slowly rolling down. You saw me warm up at the very beginning with the roll down bar this way. But now, whoa, I'm getting some extension all through my spine. And this is just kind of helping give me a little extra stretch. Up. And the last one, number 3. Now obviously if you have any herniated disc issues, I do not recommend this exercise for you. Fortunately, I don't have that issue. There's still time. I am 47, so you know, that could change. Who knows? But now, generally everyone's favorite part. So if you ever go to a Pilates studio, the first thing that tends to catch people's minds are these fuzzy little mufflers here. And that's when the people generally say things like, is this like a sex machine? No. No. I mean, no, it's not. But these we get to use much like you would think of an inversion table, right? But I get a lot more room to move around with these than I would on an inversion table. So, just go over. There we go. Just measure this out here. And this I will use. It's just kind of an easier way. Sometimes you'll see people lay down and they'll put their feet in the mufflers and wrap around quite a few times. Sometimes I'll do that kind of depending on what I plan to do throughout the whole thing, but this, I'm not going too crazy, but you'll see. So here, so lay down on my back. Just gonna tuck my shirt in for a split second. Feet up here, and then I always like to have the strap on the inside there, and I can just hang here, right? I'm already feeling some load and pressure taken off the lumbar spine there, But I like fully being inverted. I'm gonna grab through here and then just go all the way off and stretch. I'm just gonna hang here and let this pull. One of my favorite parts of letting this just pull on that foot and get almost like some space on my hips. I can put my hands on the back of the Cadillac, on the bottom bar of the Cadillac, and press and get some extension there. And we also like to twist while we're here, right? So now I'm going to maneuver to each side of the Cadillac, right, and press out and get a little bit more extension and you'll see. All right, here we go. Come up through here, reach down, twist around, put my hands on the sides of the bar here, and stretch. And go back and do the other side. And come back. Just one final. Yeah, fuck it. Stretch. The way to really get out of this is just kind of like a quick sit up. And I'll grab my ankles. Swing around. Take my feet out. Now generally, the mistake people make after they do that, they tend to want to pop right back up. I always recommend kind of take a second, let the blood come back down, and don't just jump up right away. You know, pass out. Someone's got to call an ambulance. But if you're alone in here like I am, big disaster. So, you know, take your time. Let that blood come back down slowly. Whew. Switch your cameras, and then with that, went a little longer than I thought. It's good though, fun, and yeah. So if you happen to see this, if you tune in the last second, you're like, what the hell was that guy doing? Shoot me a message on any social media platform that you're comfortable with. Obviously, if you're here on Twitch or YouTube, Instagram, Facebook. I'm all over. You can find me on everywhere. So yeah, but thank you guys for tuning in. That was great. I hope you enjoy it. And like I said, I will answer any questions. And since I'm repeating myself, I'm just going to go ahead and go home and have some food. Have a great weekend, and take care of yourselves, take care of each other. Love you all. I'm out. Have a good night.